Marcus Camby, the anticipation, shoots the gap, gets the steal, takes it all the way down, and then avoids the contact with the defender and the strip to lay it off the glass. Boy. Nice looking player, isn't he, Bruce?
Absolutely. Dimitri Damani at the free throw line. He has 1 and 1. He has 48 three-pointers in the year, breaking the St. Joe's freshman record of 47, which was set by Bernard Blunt. He's shooting 43% from three-point land. Just a freshman from Moscow.
And 6'7".
And he can pass the ball. 25-11 UMass. 8:10 to go first half. Mike Williams fires for three. Now the rebound to Worley. St. Joe's did a little bit of a better job defensively.
Yeah, and the danger now for UMass is to start firing it up very quickly. You don't run your offense.
Terrell Myers hitting the bucket. And it's 25-13. And the crowd started to pick up now.
And Myers trying to get the crowd off their seats. Straight down the man by St. Joe.
Lou Rowe posting up. Dante Bright has nothing, and Lou Rowe is hacked by Townsend. And that's the first on Townsend. Pretty tough to play behind Lou Rowe when he gets into the paint.
Yeah, you always have an outlet. If you play behind him, you get in trouble with the basketball. Lou Rowe is a great outlet to have.
We have a timeout on the court. UMass 25, St. Joe's 13. Quarterfinals of the Atlantic 10 Conference Tournament. Independence Hall, the Liberty Bell, and of course 30th Street Station.
Right next to my car being towed, right over there to the left, Bruce. You see that?
And tonight we're at the Palestra, one of the hallowed shrines of college basketball. A place with magic in the air that dates back to 1927. Home of the Penn Quakers.
All the great Big Five games in this building. St. Joe's turning it over 6 times. And UMass has scored every time they have created a turnover. The big story so far in this one.
Here's Mike Williams. Dumps it down low. Rowe triggers to Kellogg. Kellogg penetrates. Loose underneath, goes out of bounds to the Hawks. And now into the ball game once again, Edgar Padilla replacing Kellogg. He may not play a lot of minutes tonight because he's nursing the flu.
Well, we see John Calipari playing very well right now. Southern Miss always dangerous because they have an inside-outside game, but I think the Metro may get 2 outside chance of getting free in the NCAA tournament, but certainly 2.
Kellogg back out front for the Minutemen. 4:30 to go first half. And it has been a methodical, disciplined, precise UMass team thus far. They lead 31-13. Kellogg with the shot clock down to 8, directing traffic. Hands to Mike Williams. Look out. That shot clock goes down. You know who to look to.
I was going to ask you, who do you think will take this shot when the clock is running down?
Connor goes to the basket. He is fouled.
Hockey tournament action. 3 days of championship thrills begin March 18th on Prime. The world is watching. The toughest division in soccer. The premier players in the world. The English First Division. All season on Prime.
This telecast authorized under the right granted to Prime by the Atlantic 10 Conference and is not intended for the commercial use of our viewing audience. Any reproduction, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of Prime and the Atlantic 10 Conference is prohibited. Bruce Beck and Terry Gannon courtside. Tony Carrillo, our host. We're at the Atlantic 10 tournament.
Well, so far, no one from St. Joe's is going to want to copy this one and use it anywhere. They have only knocked down 4 field goals, and we've got 3:31 left in the first half.
And Camby with another rejection. Kellogg partially deflected that shot by Bass. Camby with another block, but a foul is called. And Camby, an imposing presence in the middle, He's looking to become one of only 4 freshmen in the NCAA Division I record book to have 100 or more blocks.
To this point.
UMass took him out of the game. Damani, who has been timid in this first half. And the basketball goes over the hoop and out of bounds.
To see St. Joe's knock down an outside jump shot, just to loosen him up a little bit. Nice inside to Worley on the spin.
So Colin Worley finally getting free underneath, and he has 6 points. Shot clock is off. 25 seconds left in the first half. An exhibition of basketball, both ends of the floor, put on here by UMass.
And now we'll show you what else they have, too. Mike Williams down. Mike Williams will just take it and do what comes naturally.
Final seconds of the half. Williams looking, fires, air ball. Rebound Worley. He throws it at the buzzer, and that is it. So the Minutemen, the #1 seeded team, awesome. That's the best word to describe their first half.
Well, the only thing that didn't work was Mike Williams' shot at the end of the first half. Maybe he should have banked it.
It is 41-17 at the break. Let's go back to Tony Carrillo.
All right, thank you very much, Bruce Beck. And so it is the top seed playing 17. It's the Minutemen all over the Hawks.
Location, cross at Amherst.
UMass on top of the St. Joseph's Hawks.
Well,
Individual UMass in the first half, they lead it 41-17.
University today. What makes St. Joseph's different? The Jesuit tradition of academic excellence, a history of service to others, an attractive and spacious campus, successful students. From individual mentoring to team success, discover what much of Philadelphia already has. St. Joseph's University, where people make the difference.
Back to the Palestra in Philadelphia, adjacent to Franklin Field of the University of Pennsylvania campus. One of the most storied gymnasiums in the history of college basketball. And host to the Atlantic 10 Conference Tournament. And here at the half, UMass 41, St. Joe's 17. And we begin playing the second half of play.
You hear John Griffin at halftime. Everything is positive that you say. You don't concentrate on any negative aspects of the first half. You focus on what you've done in the past that's been positive. And a positive note to start out on. Bruce, they go right down low to Carlin Worley, and he draws the foul.
And that's the third foul on Lou Rowe.
Yep.
It's amazing that St. Joe's scored a season-high 94 yesterday against St. Bonaventure, coming off a season best to that point, 91 against West Virginia, the regular season finale. And they have 17 points in the first half here tonight.
Well, you shoot 19%, you're not going to beat anyone. CYO team comes in this building, you're not going to beat them shooting 19%.
Colin Worley down the block outside Curry. They work a two-man game. Townsend open, and he hits.
Day in Milwaukee, he showed off his speed skating gold medal for the crowd, and he thanked his parents.
You guys taught me everything. You taught me how to win and how to lose. And I love you guys.
Dan Jansen Day in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and Stoneham, Massachusetts, 50,000 lined a parade route to honor figure skating silver medalist Nancy Kerrigan. Some nearly bared all to show their support. Nancy thanked them all.
To tell you the truth, I am proud to be from Stoneham, from Massachusetts, and to be an American. And thank you all for being here. All
Nancy Kerrigan and her parents wiped their tears away during this emotional day in Stoneham. March Madness continues this Sunday. Here's Phil Andrews.
March Madness, indeed, the best time of the year if you are a college basketball fan. Last season, Temple's Aaron McKee was the Atlantic 10 Player of the Year. Well, this year, that honor went to teammate Eddie Jones. And this weekend, Jones and McKee playing in their last Atlantic 10 tournament. And Eddie, not disappointing, he buries one from the corner there. Nicely done. McKee also getting in on the act. Check this out. as he easily puts it up. Nothing but net. Coach Chaney says, all right, keep it going, keep it going. So Eddie Jones says, check this out, Coach. This is from the NBA range three-pointer. They were up by 9 at that point, and Aaron McKee and Eddie Jones, the tandem, working really well. That's a miss, but look who's on the follow. Jones, 17 points in the first half. Temple goes on to win it 58-44. Now, in tonight's other A-10 action, the Hawks of St. Joe's no match for Massachusetts. As former Atlantic City High star Lou Rowe scored 23 points to help pace the Minutemen to the 74-58 blowout. Mass jumped out to a 20-7 lead to start the game and never looked back. Marcus Camby, he had 14 points. And a tough way for Hawks guard Rap Perry to wrap up his career. 4 years at St. Joe's and not one trip to the Big Dance. So in today's other quarterfinal play, it was George Washington over Rhode Island. They will play Temple tomorrow night. Duquesne upsetting West Virginia, and Duquesne will take on UMass. Hap saved their best for today. Gratz took control of this one from the start, and it was Leonard Stewart with the jam coming up, plus the foul baseline, 39-26 Gratz. FLC, though, chips away at the lead. Check this out. Rashid leads the way. That is Rashid Arnold playing high above the rim, 39-30 Gratz. Bobcats cut it to a 5-point deficit. Arnold off the glass, this time 39-34 Gratz, a 12-0 FLC run. Gratz gets a little breathing room. Sean Smith buries one from three-point range, 42-38 Bulldogs. But again, FLC stays in it. They cut it to a 1-point deficit, and guess who drains the clutch three-pointer? Yep, Rashid Arnold, 51-50 Gratz. But with FLC training 55-53, it was Michael Robinson from 27 feet.
I think that we put ourselves in a position to win. It just happened with 8 seconds. God looked down on us tonight, and he put the ball in the basket. This year, which I just told our boys, 1993-94 Public League champion, boys.
Indeed, that, by the way, the second Public League title for FLC in the last 3.
Court. They're trying to block a U.S. Figure Skating Association hearing set for Thursday. They want the hearing put off until after the World Championships to give Harding a chance to compete and to prepare her defense. The association is looking into Harding's possible connection with the attack on Nancy Kerrigan. Former heavyweight champion Mike Tyson has lost another legal fight. The U.S. Supreme Court today rejected Tyson's appeal of his rape conviction, but Tyson is not out of legal options yet. His lawyers are currently pursuing another appeal in an Indiana court. It appears as if it will be Temple UMass Chapter 3.
Yeah, very well put. Atlantic 10 semifinals, plus a chance tonight for Chaney to pick up career win number 500. Not easy, though, down by 6 at the half, but they go into overdrive. Actually, Rick Brunson drive right here, part of a 30-6 second half explosion. Aaron McKee only had 2 points at the half, but he has at least 15 in the second half. Watch number 23 just drive on by. Temple is now up 53-30 with less than 2 minutes to go. McKee. The other semifinal had UMass on a 27-2 run. They're also running tonight. Here comes Mike Williams, their go-to guy. He had for 19. How about Lou Rowe from Atlantic City, New Jersey? Here he comes. He had 15. UMass defeated the Dukes of Duquesne 69-52. They're going to host Temple on Thursday in that title game, and as Jim mentioned, it should be Calipari, Chaney, Part 3. Drexel into their title game tonight for their conference of the North Atlantic Conference. It is a knack attack tonight for Brian Holden, the fire-breathing Dragons. He had 24, knocking off New Hampshire 85-75. Drexel to host Maine Wednesday night at 9:30 in the NAC title game. The winner gets an automatic bid to you-know-where, the Big Dance. Also tonight, Penn by, 20 points at Columbia. Allen and Maloney each with 21. The Quakers end up perfect in the Abbey for the second straight year. Also, Princeton over Cornell, 83-56. Plus, we now know that Villanova will play Providence to start off the Big East tournament Friday at noon because Providence defeated Georgia. Madhouse in Massachusetts.
Fans are in a frenzy. I love that. I mean, I've been an athlete all my life, and the greatest thing that happens for me is when I know that the fence is higher and I got to climb it.
Nobody's there that likes you, you know. That's the type of atmosphere Coach likes, where he's hated.
He gets them pumped up for tonight, and they were delirious last night at Drexel University. That's when Mike Whistler hits a 3 right here to tie it up. Then they hit all their free throws after this to beat the Black Bears of Maine, 86-78, and so they can dance because they're going to the Big Dance. It was a bit of a sweaty night last night for these guys.
Why am I sweating? Yeah. We just came out of a barn burner. You know, kids did a great job. You know, we've had a great year, and it came down to one game again. We've been to the championship game the last 2 years and have lost in the championship game. Last year we lost here at home to Delaware, you know, in a real tough loss. And I think the experience from last year, the hurt, you know, the pain, the sting, I think, you know, motivated these kids this year.
And they will see on Sunday where and who they'll play in the NCAA, the Drexel Dragons. All right. Okay.
One of the good trips, solid defense, must rebound, don't give second chances, and keep the ball on the low post. That seems what UMass has been effective doing of late.
Certainly, Temple needs some offense from Rick Brunson.
Did you see the flash on Rowe? They opt for Camby, but Rowe was wide open a moment earlier.
They went for the lob. Padilla couldn't connect. Three-point try. Jones, nothing but net.
A simple little pick, and they slid. I don't think you can slide McKee or Jones. Got to go over the top.
McKee is 33. Jones has 15. They've combined for 48 of the 50 Temple points.
They work the high post and then get a cutter so the back guys have to help.
14 left in regulation. UMass leading by 8. Dana Dingle returns for Dante Bright.
I'm sorry, Sean. I'm just saying you've got to force the back guy to come up and then to look for cutters and high baseline. And
downtown, only the second field goal of the second half. Cincinnati leads by 10. Winner gets Marquette. Tight one in the SWC quarters. Baylor looking to join the other top seeds.
Thank you, Mike. Here it's Massachusetts by 8. At one point, UMass led 24-3, but each team with one timeout remaining. Temple will be at the limit with the next team foul. UMass has only committed 4. The arrow favors Temple. With the sellout here tonight, the Atlantic 10 tournament this year has drawn more than 39,000 fans, and that is the highest total attendance for the A-10 tournament in 14 years. And congratulations to outgoing Commissioner Ron Berdovich in this day.
A lame duck commissioner, I might add.
Yes.
Of course, he has a career. This is an enviable commissioner's job, though. It's alive and well. And with the new link up with the Big East, they've got stability here as well.
Oh, Howard in for 2.
Good control. The cuts. And then the ball responding with the cut have been extraordinary.
Well, there's 13 points. 9 of those were in the first 6 minutes and 15 seconds of the game.
Michael Williams got to force him to the middle. Now look at Lou Rowe back there. Lou's like a waiter that's looking for that tip.
Couple of juggles, and Temple down 10 with under 3 minutes left is down to 7 seconds on the shot clock. And then Jones lost the handle, hit the floor to get it back. Held ball, the arrow points to Temple.
And what a break with one.
With the held ball, the clock does not reset. They don't penalize the defense this year. So they need basically a lob or a catch and immediate shot. They get it from Ivy. Rowe had a finger on the rebound. He tipped it to Williams, who was quickly fouled by McKee, his 3rd. And some serious trash talk between McKee and Williams.
And wisely, some cooler heads prevail as Dante Bright, Derek Kellogg, and Michael, what makes him a great player also can cause some problems for him and his team. That push, that inner urge, that wanting to get it. And John Calipari put the policeman's stop up. And Kellogg responds.
UMass perhaps 204 away from its unprecedented 3rd straight Atlantic 10 tournament title. 4 fouls now on Eddie Jones. He's in big trouble. Brunson hasn't hit all night, and finally he connects his first points of the night from 3-point range. Massachusetts by 9. Rowe had it kicked around. The T has it. Brunson. Battle for the rebound. Rowe scoops it off the floor. And Ivy and Battie were there.
Well, that was a good opportunity. All in unison. Because everybody's up when you're ahead by 10.
And now by 11. A minute and a half remaining.
You don't want to foul for UMass. And obviously they need the deep one quickly.
McKee missed a three. Battie kept it alive. Jones tries a three and got it.
Take their last one?
They did. Even though they wasted one earlier, and that could come back to haunt them. They're down by 8. Back in the homestanding Minutemen. Lead by 8, and that sign is indeed correct. Gary Miller and Dan Patrick standing by with Sports Center. The lineup that they listed was a little off. Gary and Dan will have.
Great to see him back out there. For those who love golf, he brings out the crowds. Ivy with the giveaway at half court. Healthy and able to perform. Looking for a big year from John Daly.
You are. Nashville's been to 3 regional finals in the NCAA tournament in the last 6 years. Only Duke has been to more regional finals over that span. They've been to 5.
How about the stroke by Lou? 7 in a row?
Yes, he's 7 for 7 from the line tonight. Ordinarily a 65% free throw shooter. UMass, it's on its way to victory. Brunson continues a miserable shooting night. Jones with a row right on him. Brunson watches Kellogg fly by. And foul call. Brunson went up in the air, and Kellogg called for his first foul.
And that was on the pass, so it'll be a non-shooting. Down to 5, reminiscent of the earlier game when Temple late in the game had fouls to give and did not. And it hurt John Chaney and their cause. They did not see the pass at the end of that.
Brunson got it in. 20 seconds left. Dingle.
A push.
Was fouled as he caught the air ball from Brunson. Brunson is 1 for 12 from the floor tonight.
And Dante Bright is not protecting the thumb with those 3 fingers up.
Well, what kind of a seed do you think for Massachusetts in the NCAA? I'd say with this, they've got to be a 2 seed.
So I would agree with you. Temple dropped to maybe 3. They'll be back. The man can coach, and they generally respond. This is just an incredible atmosphere for a college basketball game. Tough to come in and have a start like the Owls did, and Michael Williams, some of those threes. We used to say onions in the neighborhood. He showed them.
You know, it's frightening for the rest of the Atlantic 10 in college basketball. There's not a single senior on scholarship on this Massachusetts team. Seconds left. Massachusetts has never trailed in the game. Their lead is 12 at 68-56. Made a Dingle at the line. Gets the bounce in the first one. And a great scene on the Temple bench as Chaney has his 3 stalwarts. Jones, Brunson, and McKee arm in arm. And they'll look ahead to the NCAA tournament. You can see them in the background. Osmond knocks in a 3.
That's what I remember about his ability.
Craig Berry, a walk-on and a crowd favorite. Padilla. And that's it. Mass hysteria here in Amherst as the Minutemen win their 3rd straight Atlantic 10 Conference Tournament title. John Calipari has taken the mic. There will be an award ceremony here, so he wants to squelch the celebrating.
Hey, everybody off the floor. Let's go. Show some class, guys. Someone's going to get hurt.
And as you
Let's
can tell,
go.
folks, when this man speaks in Western Massachusetts, everybody listens.
That's what I needed in my house, a microphone. Those kids would have moved. Both of us could have emptied this arena
off the floor
by walking in.
You guys have been a
27th win of the year for the Minutemen. That's the most in college basketball this season. Connecticut has 26. And Temple will head to the NCAA tournament with a record of 22-7. The final score, Massachusetts 70, Temple 59. Congratulations to the Minutemen. For Bill Raftery, Sean McDonough saying so long from Amherst. Stay tuned for Sports Center.
ESPN's Championship Week is brought to you by Dollar Rent-A-Car. Right on the airport, right on the money. And by the new Dodge, a proud sponsor of the 1994 U.S. Olympic team. And by State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Square, but clearly the conference has lost its clout. Not a single Final Four appearance in the 90s, and anyone outside of UConn, Syracuse, and BC will have to do something in New York to make the NCAAs. For struggling St. John's and Pitt, that meant nothing short of winning the whole thing, and they went against each other. Hey, fellas, want to have a game? Gotta have a ball.
Good penetration to the
Eric Mobley. Hey, you, don't you want to play? Hustle, hustle, hustle. Get out there. Get in the game. Talk about coming off the bench. Comes out of nowhere. Paul Evans, though, facing the specter of perhaps coaching his last game, unless his team could end his losing streak, and the Redmen wanted that to happen. The alley-oop to Rowan Barrett. 13-1 start. The Panthers answer. Orlando Antigua. Eric Mobley hit up by 3, but the Redmen kept on running. In the second half, they get off and rolling. Derek Brown for the lay-in, and they win it by 8, 90-72 to snap their own 6-game losing streak.
Is mightier, especially Matt Maloney finally getting those threes to go down. They're up by 9 at that point. Nebraska makes a run, but then they're going to go to Jerome Allen. Watch him here for a 3. The pride of Episcopal Academy in Philadelphia. Allen with 18 points. He'll cut right here. 3-pointer. They blow him out to win 90-80. Barry Pierce with 25 points off glass. It is the first Ivy League victory in a first-round game in 10 years. Phil Andrews did something tonight that Nebraska could not do, that is cover the Penn Quakers.
These not only the smiles of a team just victorious in the opening round of the NCAA tournament, but also the smiles of a team that has believed in one another since the opening day of the season.
We wanted to concentrate and play our game and do the things that we've done throughout the season that's made us successful. And we knew Nebraska was going to make a run because they were on a roll. And we just wanted to minimize all that.
Of course, after losing to UMass by 4 in the opening round of last year's tournament, the Quakers weren't quite ready for a repeat just yet.
We just didn't make the errors in the last 5 minutes of the game. We didn't make the turnovers. We made a lot of big shots. Donald Moxley coming off the bench, he just made a shot like he was in practice. It was unbelievable.
There's a lot of media makes hype about certain teams, and they won the Big 8 tournament. You know, they're on ESPN all the time. I hear a lot of hype about them, and it feels good to go out and play a team that, gets a lot of that hype, and we really don't get a lot of that, and it feels good to go out and beat them.
And so this underrated group of Penn Quakers knocks off an overrated Nebraska club, and as a result, the Quakers are headed to the second round of the NCAA tournament for the first time since 1980. This is Phil Andrews, Channel 6 Action News, Uniondale, New York.
And this afternoon, Rider College from Lawrenceville, New Jersey, tied with Connecticut at halftime, but that's when Danielle Marshall of Reading, Pennsylvania, takes off, ended up with 19. Rider lost at 64-46. All the scores, first in the East.
Kept them off this and the next exciting half hour. If you're thinking about having a hair replacement or hair transplant, don't miss this. Newhart Hair Clinics 2001. I'm excited to introduce to you the man who makes it all possible, John Gagliardoni.
Kelly, we have the Newhart split medium micrographs, which we'll be talking about later. But I'm very excited about the latest addition to the Newhart hair replacement options. And what that is, it's the microblend mesh with a glass silk front. Now, this gives the man the ultimate natural appearance, but with the durability.
If you can find it, 1-800-776-7775. We're open.
Sports. Arkansas, the top seed in the Midwest Regional and maybe the top team in the land, needed a late surge to pull away from North Carolina A&T and win their NCAA tournament opener 94-79. Corliss Williamson was high man on the Hogs with 24. Next up for Arkansas, Georgetown. Oklahoma State beat New Mexico State. UCLA was living on Tulsa time as the Golden Hurricanes ripped the Bruins. Georgetown held off Illinois. It took the fourth try, but Indiana finally won an East Regional game for Bob Knight. Hoosier Allen Henderson the huge game with 34 points and 13 boards. Indiana plays Temple next. North Carolina shook off Liberty. Tar Heel Rasheed Wallace, 18 points and 10 rebounds to boot. Boston College a winner against Washington State. Temple defeats Drexel. In the Southeast, Michigan State got 26 points from Sean Respert and sent Seton Hall to the showers, 84-73. The Pirates went the first 9 minutes of the second half without a basket. Duke's on deck for the Spartans. Marquette sings Southwest Louisiana. Kentucky takes Tennessee State. The Blue Devils burn Texas Southern. In the West, Minnesota used a 20-0 first-half run against Southern Illinois and beat the Salukis 74-60. Bashan Leonard led the Golden Gophers with 18. Their next game is against Louisville. Virginia comes back to down New Mexico. Arizona a winner against Loyola of Maryland. Louisville beats Boise State. The NBA got into the March Madness spirit Friday, and the Pistons of all teams were right in the middle of it. Detroit beat Phoenix 114-113 thanks to Joe Dumars, who scored 30 points and hit the game-winning shot with 3.5 ticks on the clock. Danny Manning's dunk with seconds to play lifted Atlanta past Indiana. Cleveland falls to Orlando. The Cavs have lost 4 straight. Charlotte knocks off Utah. The T-Wolves take Philadelphia. Chicago holds off Seattle. Sacramento downs Denver. Jersey beats the Lakers. The Blazers knock off the Bullets. NHL, Chicago takes the Rangers. Jeremy Roenick 2 goals for the Hawks. St. Louis a loser to Toronto. Edmonton and Florida tie. Bob Kudelski is 40th for the Panthers. The Islanders tied Buffalo. Dallas downs Washington. Mike Modano 2 goals, 2 assists for the Stars. NFL news, the New Orleans Saints are moving quarterbacks around like the living room furniture. The Saints signed former Ram QB Jim Everett to a 2-year contract, sending a draft choice to L.A. New Orleans waived Wade Wilson to make room under the salary cap for Everett. Tennis in the semifinals of the Lipton Championships, world number...
It's called March Madness, and it's crazy.
The higher they're seated, the harder they fall. Will the Pac-10 continue to pack it in? Can Lute finally say, let's play 2? Does God play favorites?
God loves us all equally.
And he allows some prayers to be answered. The buzz in Charlotte is a playoff push, while the Bulls try to prove they're not pushovers. We'll put everything in focus for you on SportsCenter next.
For 3, and it dropped. He had 21 and a half, too. He alone outscored Drexel, 21-20. After the game, Bill Harrigan said McKee was making tough shots, NBA-type shots that he's going to make for the next 12 or 15 years. So it's Temple, John Chaney, Indiana, Bobby Knight, Sunday, 12:15 Eastern. Craig?
To the Southeast region, which is considered the toughest in this year's tourney. Purdue, Duke, Kentucky, and Kansas are the top 4 seeds. Duke has gone to 6.
QB from their rivals in the NFC West.
And we've got the scoop from Pro off the win. And Boise State goes home from the dance in the first round for the 2nd straight years. Tick Rogers off the steal, the slam, and the
bow. It's Courier and Sampras from Florida.
And star-studded. Naked Gun, 33 1/3. The Final Insult, rated PG-13. Now playing. Gettysburg.
Everett's nightmare in L.A. is finally over in favor of a brand new start in New Orleans. The Rams traded the veteran quarterback to the Saints Friday for an undisclosed draft choice, rumored to be a 7th-round pick. The Saints also released quarterback Wade Wilson. Everett was benched and T.J. Rubley given the starting job last season. That, coupled with the acquisition of Chris Miller, made Everett and his $2.65 million salary expendable. And the Broncos are keeping busy. After missing out on Tim Brown, they signed Chargers wideout Anthony Miller to an offer sheet. The San Diego radio station is reporting the deal is worth $10.5 million over 4 years. The Chargers have 7 days to match the offer. Meanwhile, wide receiver Nate Lewis is on his way out of San Diego and on
to Bourbon Street. The Saints will march with a new QB. Stay with us. Everett has new life with the new home. The New Orleans Saints have signed the Ram QB to a 2-year deal. The Saints send the Rams an undisclosed draft choice for Everett. Everett led the Rams to the NFC Championship game in 1989, but followed that with 3 losing seasons. Carl.
Now talk about strange bedfellows.
Edition comes from the big dance, the Oklahoma City gathering in particular, Georgetown versus Illinois, and a very strange 2 for the Illini. Garris driving, getting tied up with Georgetown's Othello Harrington, watches the ball, pops up in the air and goes through the hoop for 2 for Illinois. John Thompson is speechless one more time in slow motion. Garris and Harrington battling, it squirts out over Othello Harrington's head and in for the bucket and the pod, and Othello probably didn't want to make pod.
So has Temple's chances of getting to college basketball's Final Four after a 9-point loss to Indiana today. Temple did have the defense working in the first half as John Chaney and Bobby Knight look on. The turnover coming up here, and check it out, as Temple converts into 2, and it'll be Aaron McKee on the back end of the jam. He had 18 points in his final game as a Temple Owl. However, a 17-9 Indiana run in the second half, well, this may have helped put this one away as Brian Evans drains a 3 from the corner. Eddie Jones also playing in his last game for Coach Chaney. He had 24, including 2 on the one-handed jam through the paint there. Foul shooting, though, became a major problem in the second half for Temple as Aaron McKee misses 2 here. They get another chance at it, kicking it out to Rick Brunson, but Brunson misses the 3. And from that point on, Hoosiers back the other way, and it'll be Todd Leary converting the bucket to make it 60-52 Indiana. They do eventually win it 67-58. Scott Palmer with more from Landover.
The Owl season came to a close today when they could not overcome a poor shooting game against Bobby Knight's Hoosiers.
I had wide open shots, wide open looks at the basket, and I was kind of tentative to shoot the ball, and that's why I missed a lot of shots.
Temple fans had reason to believe after William Cunningham came alive at the end of the first half. But the big center surge was only temporary.
We were having a hard time on offense altogether in the second half. They were playing pretty good defense or whatever, and the same shots that were there in the first half, they just weren't there in the second half.
Indiana was successful because Bobby Knight's team kept swinging the ball until somebody got open.
Our guards did a great job of penetrating their gaps, and Pat Graham, Todd Leary, and myself were able to step into those open areas and get open shots.
While the loss here in Landover closed out Temple's season, it also closed out the great careers of Eddie Jones and Aaron McKee.
I'm not going to wear this Temple Owl uniform no more. I'm not going to, play under Coach Chaney no more. And that's tough to deal with, playing under a coach like Coach Chaney. I mean, it's just great.
Everybody love each other. I mean, everybody cares a whole bunch about each other. I mean, just got to keep that attitude for these guys, for the guys coming in next year. Just let them know what Temple is all about, the tradition that we have here.
Losing your final game is never easy. This one was even tougher as Eddie Jones and Aaron McKee left the court for the final time wearing a Temple uniform. I'm Scott Palmer, Channel 6 Action News with the Temple Owls in Landover, Maryland.
Now on that same court, check it out, Boston College, a 3-point upset over the top-ranked team of the college basketball, North Carolina, out of the tournament. There will be a new champ. In the Southeast region, Duke over Michigan State. Marquette upsetting 3rd seed Kentucky 75-63. In the Midwest region, Arkansas passed Georgetown. Tulsa, the 12th seed, upsetting 4th seed Oklahoma State. Tulsa, the lowest seed, still remaining. In the West regional, it was Arizona over Virginia, and Louisville sneaking by Minnesota 60-55. Not only did the Flyers lose to Florida for the first time this season, but now find themselves 4 points behind the Panthers for the 8th and final Eastern Conference playoff spot. Ironically, the man responsible for helping put this expansion Florida team together, former Flyer Bobby Clark. And tonight, the Panthers GM watches his club play some physical hockey. Ouch! Wow. Now, with the game tied at 1 in the second period, Rod Brindamore on the doorstep netted his second goal of the game. That's a deflection that made it 2-1 Flyers. But with the game tied at 2, Florida took control. Dave Lowry beating Tommy Soderstrom 3-2 Panthers. However, the eventual game winner coming in the third period, Stu Barnes, the harmless wrister from the top of the circle. Flyers eventually lose it 5-3. Now, as I said, Flyers currently 4 points behind Florida for the 8th and final playoff spot with about 12 games to play, so things remain interesting. And do you know the way to San Jose? Well, Wayne Gretzky certainly does. Tonight, the great one scoring a pair of goals to not only tie the game at 6 and force overtime, but also tie Gordie Howe's NHL record for career goals at 801, leaving Gretzky just 1 goal shy of his 61st NHL record. And, well, his wife, Janet Jones Gretzky, check it out, she was pretty happy as well, as this game ends in a 6-all tie. I know she's in the house. There she is. I told you she was happy. Wayne Gretzky 1 goal away.
I'm John Sullivan, Headline Sports. Wayne Gretzky scored the 801st goal of his career to tie Gordie Howe's all-time NHL mark. The goal, the great one's second of the game, came with 49 seconds left and lifted the Kings to a 6-6 tie with the San Jose Sharks. Gretzky has 36 goals this season.
Whenever you break a record, it's always real special when it's an important goal. And that goal is a big goal for us. Maybe it's going to be a key to our whole season. So I'm very proud of it.
The Flames burn the Leafs, McInnes 6 points. The Caps blank Tampa. Buffalo beats Ottawa. The Blues nip the Hawks. Stastny the game winner. Philly falls to Florida. The Pens nip the Isles. Edmonton downs Quebec. Vancouver falls to Dallas. Boston College pulled off the biggest win in the 89-year history of BC Hoops when they beat North Carolina 75-72 in the East Regional of the NCAA tournament. The Eagles will get a taste of the Sweet 16 for the first time since 1985. Billy Curley scored 10 of the Eagles' last 11 points. He finished with 18. Carolina had a chance to tie with 5 seconds left, but big freshman Rasheed Wallace's jump shot bounced off the rim. Indiana awaits the Eagles. The Hoosiers won their first ever meeting with Temple, 67-58. Bob Knight's team canned 10 of their 23-pointers. Brian Evans led the way with 18. The Hoosiers won the game, but lost guard Sharon Wilkerson to a broken leg. In the Southeast, Grant Hill was king of the mountain for Duke, scoring 25 and holding Michigan State star Sean Respert scoreless in the first half. Respert rallied late to finish with 22, but the Blue Devils won the game 85-74. Duke plays Marquette in the Sweet 16. The Warriors canned Kentucky. The Arkansas-Georgetown game was a real battle. Hogs Scotty Thurman and Hoya Don Reed got ejected for leaving the bench, but the fight was between Robert Churchwell and Clint McDaniel. Both of them stayed in the game, but Georgetown didn't. Corliss Williamson, 21 for the Razorbacks. They win at 85-73. The Hogs have a date with Tulsa. The Golden Hurricanes were a natural disaster for Oklahoma State. In the West, Arizona used Khalid Reeves' 30 points to best Virginia 71-58. The Cavaliers killed themselves by going almost 8 minutes without scoring midway through the second half. The Cats meet Louisville in the Sweet 16. The Cardinals beat Minnesota.
Win the NIT. They're in the quarterfinal action in the National Invitational Tournament. Wildcats looking for that invitation in New York City tonight. First in the game at 70-70 versus Xavier, Jason Lawson. Look at the defense down the stretch. Then the great outlet pass by Jason to Kerry Kittles. They're up 72-70 at DuPont. Then a great shot by Eric Ebers to seal it right here. It's a two-pointer. 76-74, Villanova. Next up, they're going to New York City, NIT semifinals. Monday night, Villanova versus the winner of Bradley-Siena. That game to be played tomorrow night between Bradley and Siena, but Villanova's going to New York City Monday night.
In sports. First up, the NHL, where Wayne Gretzky became the all-time leading scorer in the game's history when he netted the record breaker with 5:13 left in the second period. Gretzky breaking the record of 801 career goals set by Gordie Howe, and Gretzky ironically broke the record against the team he scored his first ever NHL goal against, the Vancouver Canucks.
A lot of pressure the last couple of weeks. We're battling for our lives right now, playoff spot. Like I said, it's a big goal right now, so I'm pretty excited about it.
This is the greatest moment of your life?
I've had a few good ones in my life. I think the birth of my children have to be number one, but this is right up there.
By the way, the Kings fell to the Canucks 6-3. Elsewhere, Alexi
was lined with superstitions. Head coach Roy Williams led a jogging exhibition to the mighty Mississippi, and then collectively, everyone involved spit into it. This year, it's jogging and rubbing headstones. In Lexington, it was Adolph Rupp's. Knoxville presented a problem. Davy Crockett's deathbed just wouldn't do, so KU has to face the big dog straight up. Okay, maybe throw in a gimmick defense or something, and if you give Roy Williams 4 days, he usually come up with something, but, well, Glenn Robinson is something special. Early on, the dog was in flames. For 3,
and then 3 more right over Richard Scott. He scored Purdue's first 10 points. When he went to the bench, he had already scored 16 of the first 19. Vaughn, Ritchie, Robinson the block. Ritchie persistent, the follow in the hoop, and Kansas ties it at 28. The dog returns, the drive. Right over Ostertag for the dunk, the stare. Glenn had 30 of Purdue's 44 first-half points. Ostertag pays him back. Robinson the board, the block. I said, get that. Got out of here. All right, so Williams has devised the defense. Wrong. Next issue. Konzo for 3, make it 4. He hit 8 of 13, scored 29. KU makes a run. Woodbury, Ostertag. Purdue's lead is down to 1. Team Katie a little nervous. Less than 3 minutes to go. It's a 3-point game, not 4. The dog rises over Scott and Woodbury. Robinson finishes with 44 points. 15 of 33 from the field, so KU goes home. The big dog got a little tired in the second half. Konzo really played huge. This isn't a one-man team. And after the game, the losing coach, even he admitted he would be hard-pressed to miss Sunday the role of giant killer playing Duke. And the Warriors hit off, and Tony Miller for 3, and it goes. Then it's Rob Lagerman for 3, and it goes. And then Damon Key, the big fella, for 3. 9-0 run to start. Warriors up 1 at the half. Second half, Grant Hill steps it up. Duke by 4, and then more Grant. Doing it all. Off the little curl, the dish to who? Cherokee Parks had 12, and the Devils are up 6. And then Hill explodes. Look out below. Over the 7-footer McIlvain. Hill scored 16 of his 22 and half 2, and Duke moves on. Kevin O'Neill pointing.
Headline sports. Boston College is making the NCAA selection committee look like a bunch of Einsteins. The Eagles have knocked out Indiana and made it to the Elite 8. BC scored the final 9 points of the game, 77-68 the final. Howard Isley with 18.
Well, we didn't come down here just to win one game. We want to go somewhere, and we have another game to play, and then we'll worry about all that celebration stuff. But it was a good win for us, and we deserve to show a little enthusiasm. But I just want to keep winning.
Next up, Florida in the final. The Gators beat UConn in OT. Arkansas ripped off Tulsa's size 15 double D high-top Cinderella slipper. The Hogs humbled them 103-84. Corliss Williamson and Scotty Thurman knocked down 21. They'll meet Michigan in the final. The Wolverines took out the Terps.
Pretty solid. Been enjoying him all evening. And early on, he had a couple of plays that he struggled, but the confidence both of Lapis in leaving him in and Alvin in staying and performing well. Maybe the reason it turned his game around.
Those rebounds, by the way, for Alvin, a career high for him. So a great double-double at 6 had a major impact on the proceedings tonight. And that should just about guarantee that we'll see Villanova and Vanderbilt V-battle Wednesday night at 9 o'clock in the championship game of the 57th National Invitation Tournament, because the Wildcats are going to represent the Big East in the NIT Championship. The SEC, the other entrant, as Villanova tonight at a 5-point lead at halftime. They stretch it out and win it by 8. A happy coach from this part of the country, and he will dance another night Wednesday night in the championship. 66-58, Villanova wins it. For Bill Raftery and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Brad Nessler. Thanks for watching. We'll see you here again Wednesday night. The championship pits Villanova and Vanderbilt. That'll do it from the Garden. Sports Center is next. Seconds left in the ball game. 73-70. Villanova leads Vanderbilt now. Villanova reached the championship game of the NIT one other time back in 1965. Vanderbilt won the NIT title last in 1990. Dan Van Bredekoff in his first season down to a single timeout if he needs it, and his star senior down to his last couple of minutes. And we're down to our last couple of minutes.
Stops and rebound now if you're Vandy. The solid D as it gets to 18 seconds.
And if they miss the shot, the rebound is of the utmost importance. There's the miss, there's the rebound. This might not be a bad guy to have shoot it on the other end.
They've got
to hurry it.
Oh, they got to run there. Now there's a down screen. They've been dribbling around looking for a bump on the outside. Lawson teed it up on Chris Lawson.
Ronnie McMahon in low. Chris Lawson wheels on Jason. Hook shot won't go. Dan Hall trying to get the rebound. Does. And Chris Lawson again keeps it alive.
Oh, he had a little dump off to Chris Lawson, too. He didn't spot him.
Hesitated just enough that took that play away. Ronnie McMahon has a look up. Minute on the game clock. 20 on the shot clock.
Steal, throw away.
Alvin Williams. Billy McCaffrey ran him down. An intentional call on McCaffrey. I believe the officials will confirm. Maybe it won't be. Steve Lapis says it should be Tim Higgins. Is he going to say yes, it is?
Chair, huh?
And here's the freshman Williams at the free throw line. Biggest chances from the stripe of his young Villanova career. His team up by 4, matches their largest lead.
Have they found a player in this young guy?
They sure have.
And I liked them early, but not as much as I like them now.
I'm going to like them a lot in the years to come, I'll tell you that much.
That's what tournaments are good for, too. They find their place. Teams get deeper. Everybody's got to deny. If they give you the good double taken, there they go. When they don't step up on the... Almost by Secker.
Secker almost had a steal. Williams lost the ball. New life for Vandy. They're down 4. Secker pulls up, headed block.
Only need 2. It's a 2-possession game. That's it. Nice give up.
Lawson fouled. He'll go to the free throw line. Ronnie McMahon with a nice slice, dishes off. About 40 seconds, picked up 2 quick ones. One was way outside. One was trying to get position on a rebound, and so he had to sit much of the second half. He leaves with 6 points and 33 seconds left. But the guy that comes in, I think, is the guy that was a spark to get him going, Ron Wilson.
He was. Not a bad guy to turn to. He had not performed up to his great evening. They would not be ahead of this club.
Chris Lawson, 2 for 2 tonight. 70 on the season. Missed the first one. Kept alive. Secker for 3. Lawson trying to tip it in. And a foul. Three-pointer almost went home for Secker. It would have made it a 1-point game.
That's only their 16th foul. Now you've got to deny, watch for the home run, and then give it. Oh, my goodness, right at the basket.
Not a bad guy to foul in Wilson because of the fact that the other guys are better free throw shooters around the floor.
That was almost
4 out of 8 from the free throw line tonight. Wilson's first trip there.
His night.
Rips it. Right now, Vandy can only look on. They're down 5. They know it's a 2-possession game regardless of how this free throw goes. And it goes in. What a night Ron Wilson's had. 76-70.
Brad, they're going to go inside. They're going to settle quickly. I thought they're going to let the big guy touch it, now kick it out.
Secker's going to try another one. And got it!
Great use of the clock and floor and Chris Lawson and the quick feet of Frank Secker.
8 threes tonight for Frank Secker. That's a personal. McCaffrey's been bottled up tonight by the Wildcat defense, but Frank Secker has certainly answered the call and picked up the slack. Evers on the inbounds. McMahon got him immediately. And Evers will go.
Obviously, you don't want a guy who's reaching over. That's why people take him off the line. You make him, it doesn't matter.
That was a gigantic free throw. This one could be the killer for Vanderbilt. Evers got them both. Vandy needs to hustle. They need a 3, and they don't have a timeout left. McMahon, that 3 won't go. And Villanova's going capper. Picked to finish 10th in the Big East. A 20-win season and an NIT crown. The last time in the NIT final was 1965. They lost to St. John's by 4. Tonight, the Wildcats trailed by 17 points in the first half, 15 at the break. They come back and they win it over Vanderbilt by 7. Tough to look on for Jan Van Bredekoff in his first season when it looked like he was going to be able to wrap up an NIT crown, but the wrapping now goes the Wildcats' favor.
Who says it's not big, huh?
That's right. NIT champs for Villanova. You could have picked a number of guys who did it in the second half to make this game what it became for the Wildcats. The guy that we're going to pick as our Polaroid Captiva player of the game, 6'5" junior point man, Jonathan Haynes. He had 3 threes in the second half. He had 19 points. And he helped the Wildcats come from nowhere to win this game 80-73. Villanova started this season, as we said, picked to finish down in the basement. Their motto was starting from scratch. And against the third strongest schedule in the country, they put together a 20-12 season. And they beat Vanderbilt 80-73 for the NIT crown. Congratulations to Steve Lapis and his Wildcats of Villanova and to the rest of the fine field in this year's NIT. But Nova wins it 80-73. For Bill Raftery and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Brad Nessler. Thanks for watching and saying so long from Madison Square Garden. And our congratulations to 1994 NIT champs, the Wildcats of Villanova.
ESPN's exclusive coverage of college basketball has been brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this? By Isuzu, makers of incredible four-wheel drive. And by Black & Decker, quality power tools for your spring fix-up.
Out of the NIT in the second half. Eric Ebers for a 3 to cut it to 4. 57-53. Vandy still leading. Vanderbilt led by Frank Sekar, that little Sekar with 30 points. But Kerry Kittles is going to tie it at 70. They are shooting the lights out in New York City. Got it. Then Jonathan Haynes. He had 19 points. Over there. Try it. Deadly. Elvin Williams with a title-sealing drive, 80-73 is your final in New York City. They were once down by 17, but they win by 7. So Elvin and his teammates are literally on top of the world in New York City. To football. Has Dallas now become...
He won 92 wins. Arkansas, which has never won an NCAA title game, got 29 points from Corliss Williamson to go with 13 rebounds and 5 assists. Arkansas will jump with Duke Monday night. The Blue Devils slamming the door shut on Florida's Cinderella season with a 70-65 win. Grant Hill tossing in 25 points as the Blue Devils rally from a 13-point deficit in the second half. Duke advancing to the finals for the 4th time in 5 years.
It's a great game. Two good defensive teams. They're so much quicker than I thought they were. I mean, I knew they were good, but boy, they're very, very quick and poised. I thought they were much more poised than we were in the first half. We seemed kind of frazzled, and I think we're knocked back by their quickness and the fact that they play such outstanding defense.
With more attempts. Grant Hill trying to post up on Beck. Clinton McDaniel back in for Arkansas.
number 12. And a whistle away, and it's going to be on Beck. He held up Hill, trying to get to the wing. And that's a one-on-one situation now, Billy.
Jim, what's happening? The passer's got to be ready to hit him before he gets exactly open.
1-and-1.
First offensive rebound I can remember.
There's three, and that's a huge three for Duke. That cuts the lead to 2. 3 threes tonight by Collins.
And now with Parks out of the game, it's Lang down on Williamson.
Thurman. Williamson on the line.
Mike Krzyzewski resting Cherokee Park, something I thought he'd do a little earlier, so he'd have him for the last 5 or 6 minutes. It looks like Mike's going to hold him out to about 4. You kind of get a feeling Collins is getting confidence in his stroke, Jim.
No question.
You know,
no question.
He's staying right with the shot. Arkansas goes to his zone, and that means Collins is open. Jim, a big move. Collins with confidence. Arkansas made a mistake there.
2 straight threes by Collins puts Duke ahead. Under 5 remaining. Beck in traffic. Capel reached in first. Isaiah in Indiana win the national championship. He took young Chris to that game at the Spectrum.
His dad, of course, one of the all-time great pure shooters. A member of that fabled 72 Olympic team that lost to the Soviet Union.
Now for the lead, Beck. Arkansas back in front. Oh, and a steal on the inbounds. And this is going to go against Grant Hill. This was going to be Billy on Grant Hill, his 4th. Duke with 10 team fouls. It's a double bonus the rest of the way.
Such a solid player. Went to the line over 200 times this year, shooting 70%. There's no weakness in this man's game.
He's a drama minor at Arkansas, and it will be great theater the rest of the way. Arkansas leads 65-63. Hill for the tie. Clark saves it. Capel. 65 all.
He really has that bounce step, doesn't he? He goes in there, gets the jump stop, goes right back up, not afraid to go inside. At 6'5", he'll challenge the big fellas. And again, going back to what Coach Smith said, he's not a freshman anymore. Look at the strength of Williamson.
They got it in underneath, and Williamson puts Arkansas back in front. 20 for Williamson.
That's Hill over.
Arkansas, Stewart, partially blocked by Hill, but Williamson in 1.
Too strong. From a man that was the greatest high school player in Arkansas history, closing in to, you could say, the greatest college player, distancing the great Sidney Moncrief, the way this guy's going. That was almost a Derek Wittenberg, Lorenzo Charles type 3, right?
That one partially deflected by Hill, really in the end hurts Duke.
Yep.
So Williamson for the 3-point play, and Arkansas leads 70-65.
And they stay in the 2-3 zone. Grant Hill's going to have to get the ball in the middle.
Tough pass, but a reach around call on Stewart. And that's the 9th on Arkansas, so it's a 1 in the NCAAs in their career. 2 national championships. Billy, it's been a long time since players had 3 championship crowns.
Hollifield and Farmer from UCLA, the last to do it.
Back in 1973. 15 for Lang tonight. Knocked down a couple of that time, and Arkansas with the ball leads by 3 with 3 minutes to go. Beck got around him. Blocked by Hill.
Oh, what a defender he is.
Capel. Oh, Williamson. And Beck breaks free. 4 on 2. Thurman on the wing. Lets one player fly by. Long rebound to Parks. What a block. 2 of them.
Right. Our 2 superstars we featured at the top of the show, getting it done on defense as well as offense. Williamson with that tremendous hustle and speed. The best transition for a big man I've seen in college ball.
Capel, this would tie it.
His feet weren't set.
Thurman rebound.
And who's down court already? Williamson, waiting for the low post.
He's in phenomenal shape, Billy. Williamson.
He is, and how about Nolan Richardson now saying, okay, Duke, you've used the strategy before to spread people out. Coach Dean Smith has seen this before, the fabled 4 corners.
Final 2 minutes for the title. 5 on the shot clock. Stewart.
Well, the referees didn't realize it. I think Grant Hill could have moved that ball up floor.
That rebound by Hill gives him a career high. Now he goes for the tie. He gets it. .70-70, 1:20 to go. Timeout, Arkansas.
Little 1-4 set. Nolan Richardson did not spread it.
Under 10 on the shot clock.
Stewart's open.
Stewart. 1 on the shot clock. Thurman beat it. Oh! He got it! 3-pointer!
Huge arch on that. He had to do it to get it over Lang's hands.
The shot clock went off, Billy. As he released it, Collins now with a 3.
Not a good idea, Jim. Try to get it too quick. And if you foul, it's 2 shots.
And there it is. They'll send McDaniel to the line for a couple. So McDaniel, who grew up in Tulsa, went to games at Tulsa when Richardson was the coach there. All the way back to the 5th grade, he knew he wanted to play for this man. Got 1 of them. Makes it a 2-possession game, Billy.
Right. They might as well go for 2 here, not worry about 3s.
Collins in the lane. Collins missed the lane. Rebound back. And he's fouled from behind by Lang. Here back. Ooh. Back at the line after getting the rebound at the other end.
Jim, still, if he hits this one, it's still a 2-possession game for Duke. A 3 and now he has to come out of the game. They can put in any shooter they want. Any shooter on the Arkansas team can come in to shoot this free throw. Now you go down the line.
So now Dillard comes right in and makes it a 5-point lead.
Still 2 will work.
Capel takes the 3 though. Rebound Collins puts it in and a timeout Duke with 10.2 to go. The 3-point lead. 10.2 seconds remaining.
Jim, you got to think of who you'd want to foul here. Everybody that's going to catch it, pretty good foul shooter, particularly McDaniel out there.
Ooh.
This is huge right here. Because Duke could tie with a 3. A made shot here makes it 2-possession game.
McDaniel, 1 more. Clark.
Too much time, too much time.
Great defense, Arkansas, and they take it away. McDaniel will end it in style. Arkansas is in hog heaven. They've won the first ever national championship.
brash. He's on the floor. Jim Everett smacks the smack boy straight ahead. Talk to host Jim Rome was scheduled to interview former LA Rams and current New Orleans Saints quarterback Jim Everett. The interview began calmly and then became heated.
Jim, good to have you on the show.
Good to be here, Jim. Thank you.
Check that. Chris Everett, good to have you on the show.
You know what? You know, you've been calling me that for about the last 5 years.
About 2 years, actually, Chris.
Well, hey, you know what? Let me say one thing. In that game, how many sacks did I have that we came back and won?
How many sacks did you have?
How many sacks?
Well, see, but this was back in 1989.
Okay, that was about
you may have even been Jim Everett back there, but somewhere along the way, Jim, you ceased being Jim and you became Chris.
Well, let me tell you a little secret. That, you know, we're sitting here right now, and if you guys want to take a station break, you can. But if you call me Chris Everett to my face one more time...
I already did it twice.
You call one more time, we better take a station break.
Well, it's a 5-minute segment, or 5-segment show. We got a long way to go.
Well, we do.
We got a long way to go.
We do.
I'll get a couple segments out of you before.
It's good to be here with you, though.
Well, it's good to see you, too.
Because you've been talking like this behind my back for a long time.
But now I said it right here.
Right, exactly.
Well, we got no problems then.
I think that you probably won't say it again.
I bet I do.
Okay.
Chris,